You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night, whatever the case may be, wherever you are in the continuous moment of now. Welcome to Outside the Box here on criticalmassradio.co.uk. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. I got to tell you guys, it's wow, things are powering up everywhere. Coming soon to a UK near you, the complete collapse of the schooling system as a result of what's been going on, and a worldwide awakening of the children as a result, I assure you. Yeah, it just gets better from here, guys, and it just keeps getting better all the time. And of course, I have been talking with others, about getting other people's goats. I talked about this a while back. And what I mean by that is, can I get your attention? And if I can get your attention, and I don't care whether you're loving what I'm doing or hating what I'm doing, loving me, hating me, saying great things, dissing me or what, I don't give a shit. As long as I got your attention, I got your attention. And the only thing I care about is getting the truth into your heads and hearts, where you're being enslaved spiritually, and it's my benevolent and only intent to get you to see that, to set yourself free. And that's it. Hate me or love me for it. Personally, couldn't give a shit. I don't deal anything in a personal level any longer. I deal it in an unconditional, loving manner, where, oh, you want to stick your head in the oven and fire it up? Well, not something I would do, but all right, if that's the experience you wish to have, then go for it. Also, a very non-gentle reminder of the golden rule and the power and impact that it has now. It's much greater than it's been for a very long time. That which you wish upon another, you've wished upon yourself. So I would always be careful and mindful about what we are wishing, especially those that are still stuck in the vengeance-seeking mode. And typically you'll find those in the free men of the land, sovereign citizen, patriot movements and stuff like that. People looking for the gimme-gimmes, and as I did last night, I called out a lot of different people regarding my observations of, what they're doing and their intent. And again, this is nothing personal, and of course, only egos will take stuff personal, and that's all right. I'm used to the program. It's just a TV, and I don't care if the TV set yells at me. It's just a movie. Anyway, water off a duck's back, or in this case, water off a swan's back. So it's all good. Really doesn't matter. So where did I want to go today? Well, I think we'll open up a little bit, seeing as this is the prime time in the UK, to get people up to speed a little bit on what's been going on in the UK with regards to white tiger, little white tiger, Gemini tiger. That's where she's referred to as white. She's not quite 8 years old, soon to be. Gemini soon to be 8, and quite a story evolving around her and her father Wayne, and Wayne's ex, White's mother, and the whole community there as well. As a quick shout out to people that are not typically familiar with the Tuesday it's afternoon here for me, for the Tuesday afternoon show, you can call in here at area code 347-326-9530. Again, that's 347-326-9530. And of course, if you're listening on the Blog Talk page, you can click the Skype button to get in. And I'm just going to check the room to see if anyone's posted the BTR listener number for today. Somebody generally does. I don't know what it is because I have to call in through the host button, Skype button. So it's BTR host 1, right? So, but you can't use that one. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure what the BTR listener is. If someone could post that in one of the Skype rooms, that would be greatly appreciated. We like taking the shortcut with the BTR listener number because all you have to do is in your Skype search, contact search, just type in BTR listener 0 blank blank, whatever the number is, and when you hit search for that, it shows you in your contacts, add to contact. All you have to do at that point is right-click it and hit call, and that brings you directly to the board. so that you can pop in and ask questions. And that being said, all you need to do once you're at the board is hit on the keypad of your phone or open up the dial pad on Skype and hit one there, and that lets me know that you want to get involved in the fray. Area code 734 has already got their hand up. So let's get this wide open today, guys, because I'm in the mood just to have a nice, big, fat table talk. Area code 734, and I think someone's posted the number. Just one sec, and let me see what we got. Yes. Absolutely, Paul. Thank you for the reminder. Each week, people listening through the site. Of course, you can listen direct on criticalmassradio.co.uk 24/7 all week. And I'd like to remind people that everything that I do and everything that is on the criticalmassradio.co.uk website is free for all. If you have a desire to donate, whatever, that is your call. But for me, the prime directive is to make sure that truth, and if it truly is true, it should be free to all. Anyone selling truth or remedies or anything like that is nothing but no better than a lawyer or a shill. So that's just a general reminder to all those trying to flog remedy and line their own greasy little pockets staying in the Whore of Babylon system. Not something I would do, and of course I will not be gentle about it, because I'll just state, a spade as being a spade. So anyway, 734.
Yes.
Are you
Jason or Billy Blowjob, whatever you want to call me?
How are you?
But I really resonated the other day. I forget her name. Although not like that matters, but all us, So, but she mentioned something that she doesn't. People in her physical reality she don't relate to, and she can't even have a conversation with these people. And I fully feel that way too. Like she said, she likes to try to get to the table whenever she can because that's like the place where she feels like most comfortable when she. And I'm dealing with this about the third time I stepped into the show to say hi, and I'm a laid back, balanced person for the most part. But then when I get on the show, I actually get to talk to like nice people. I get all excited. So it's one of the things I'm working on trying. Yeah.
Jason, don't want to jump in here. You've got a bit of an issue with your phone. It's kind of phasing in and out. So I'm not sure if it's if you're on a wireless phone, but it's been phasing in and out. So we are hearing you, but it's loud and very quiet and loud, very quiet. So just letting you know.
Is it better now? Is it better now?
That's better. Much better.
Okay.
And it's BTR listeners 028 for everybody. Go on, Jason.
No, I was just saying that that the table, I respect it too. It is a place where I can relate, and I can't relate outside of it in my physical reality. And so that's one of the things I'm working on is trying to be more calm and balanced, like I normally am, but while I'm on the phone with everybody at the table. But I wanted to say a few other things. I might say it later and call it later. But the main thing I wanted to say, I don't know if you guys are already aware of this movie. If not, this is like a critical movie that I know you would put it at like one of the top of your list, like freaking awesome, like totally relates to the table. There's so many things from beginning to end. And you even got to watch the first couple of credits and just see that. I mean, this movie is amazing. But so anyway, it's called Don Quixote. And I can assure you that's not his name in the beginning of the movie.
Okay, yeah, when did that one... it sounds vaguely familiar. When did that one come out?
I want to say the year on it was 2014. I think it came out sometime this year. But the one of the guys that made the movie, he's actually the main actor in the movie. And it was the whole play on... I don't want to give it away because it's so awesome. Like, you guys will love it.
Well, yeah. See, that's something else I'm seeing a lot of as well, because people are coming back after watching movies and they're seeing things in the anagogic. And if you're really paying attention, you'll. And there's a new series out, I think, called Something of Thrones or whatever. Anyway, if you know what's going on in the anagogic reality, looking at it, you see what's actually happening in the literal world. It's amazing. Right. So
this movie's perfect though, because this movie's perfect for one like a beginner person at the table too, because it's actually a story about a guy going through his awakening, and it's freaking awesome.
Perfect. You see, then there's another prime example of the consciousness awakening, because a lot more of these things are coming out. And of course, everything is perfect. When you get the notion that you know all things, it's just a level of awareness that we're working at here. Things make a whole lot more sense,
sure.
and you start accepting things.
I keep forgetting about the time delay, man. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it's still a bit garbly on your phone, but it's way better than it was when you first started.
One thing I will say about the movie, there's a point in the movie where the guy is like, he's pretty much lost, and he's at this train station, and it's actually a museum, and he thinks the train is real, and he's like, give me a ticket. And I think it's Captain Kangaroo at the booth. And he's like, well, this is a fake train. He's like, you can either wait 2 days and get a bus back to New York, back to your whatever life, or you can go over that mountain to Phoenicia.
Nice. Yeah.
No, you guys got to see that. That movie is awesome. You guys got to see that movie. And one for the kids, if you want to do allegories with the kids, because I do it with my kids all the time. But if you've seen the new Lego movie, that's another good one.
Right on. You see, and that's the thing too. Thank you for the reminder there. We also have quite a team of people that have set up Kate's Kids Cove. There's an online forum for people to go to. There's Kate's Kids Cove on Facebook. And by the way, just
that
so
thing
people
is awesome.
know, oh, it's great. And we've got.
I read it out to my kids, and they were so perceptive. I read it out to them, and just it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it is. And this is the thing. We have to empower the children again. And that's exactly what's been going on surrounding Wayne and his daughter, White. I did a quick synopsis on the show last night with basically the rundown of what's been going on. And I've talked about it a bit here as it's been playing out. Here's a quick synopsis of the overall of what's been going on to show the effect that one child has on a planet. And this is a power we all have. More importantly, the children in their purest form carry far more energy and power than anyone that is I'm adult, almost 50 years old, right? So I know where the power lies, and it's in the innocence of a child because they don't know doubt. Doubt gets introduced throughout their lives. And when someone is actually instilling the power of truth within a child, to remove that doubt and to allow them to just simply be and be the spirit and grow the way they need to, that's where where a child really shines. And this society and culture is all about taking that child and shaping it basically a beautiful natural tree into a 2x4 to be part of a box construction. But what happened originally with White was she had confronted, and I say confronted her teacher on not on a level. She says, why? She asked a simple question: Why should we have to come to school when I can Google anything if there's anything I want to learn? And of course, anyone that has their job completely discombobulated by a child typically goes into an adult childish ego rant. But anyway, she challenged the teacher and I guess the headmistress. Dad had went in to have a chat with them as well, that she could teach her class. And she was told, well, okay, you can teach the class next week. And, of course, White, being undaunted, said, no problem. And she started about getting together stuff to teach the children. And lo and behold, because this didn't faze White, the adults, the big grown-up babies that sit crying with their thumbs in the cereal aisle because they don't get the cereal they want, their only answer to that was to expel this not quite 8-year-old for 2 weeks. That's the power of a child, scared the living crap out of the system and the supposed authority. And it gets better from here, boys and girls. This is quite the story. Anyway, so a week later, White had to go to a birthday party, and she was with her dad, and her mom was coming over to pick her up. Wayne and his White's mom and dad are obviously separated. Anyway, so White's mom came over to pick White up to take her to the birthday party, was running a bit late, and lo and behold, ends up getting pulled over by a police officer for speeding. This story just gets better. It's so exciting. I just have such a hard time not wanting to go, there it is. Anyway, here we'll go on here. So what happened was when this police officer came out of the window, obviously asked for some identification. White, knowing full well who she is, she just leaned over and looked at the cop square in the eyes and said, "No names here, mate." And of course, the officer said, "Excuse me?" And being of Phoenician knowledge, she said, "Yes, you're excused. No names here, mate." And at that point, the police officer closed his book, turned and walked away. And of course, White's mom could not believe this and ended up calling Wayne likely a little bit excited, not in the positive way, as, what's going on here and what are you teaching this child and whatever. And had asked Wayne to come over and have a chat, and he did. And Wayne and his ex had a wonderful chat. She got back to him the next day that she'd been up all night reading on my WordPress site, creativegaia.wordpress.com, and basically called Wayne in tears because she had the understanding of what's really going on here. And I really want to get this codified so I can just read it out in an essay form kind of thing for everybody. But basically what she had said was, she understands the ramifications of a system and how the children are all being harmed. And she basically said, what kind of mother would I be if, I only look after my own child when every child matters on this planet? And that's exactly the message that we're carrying here. So the plot thickens and it gets even better. So, of course, White being expelled from school last Friday, I'm talking just the Friday past, none of the children in her class, they refused to answer to their names. And, of course, the school. And White wasn't there. These are her classmates. White wasn't there, and they refused to answer to their names. And this is a very, very powerful thing. I want to go back to, let me see where, I know Clarity always posts these things for me. Thank you, Clarity. You've got my back every time on this stuff. So I'm just going to read this part of it. Let me see. Okay, this is the meeting one. This is the culmination one. But effectively what happened was White, some parents had called Wayne and had told him of what was going on, and there was going to be a meeting at the school on Monday, an emergency meeting, because these children were not answering to their names. And it's a very powerful truth that is being revealed here, so please pay attention. And here's what happened. So this is Wayne's words. He wrote this on Facebook. I've got all of these things that are compiled, so you can read it out and incomplete. But here is what Wayne, the latest from Wayne. So we got to the school, and this was on Monday, right? After thing went down Friday, and they'd all gone into the meeting. So when we tried to go in, they wouldn't let us in. So the headmistress came out and said that I did not ask you to come to the meeting. So I said, if you're having a meeting about the kids and if you're going to be talking about my child, I'm going to be there. So she said, you're making a scene, and if you don't go, I will phone the police. So I said, I'll phone for you if you want. So she phoned the police, and about 10 minutes later, they turned up. And just a coincidence, it was the policeman that pulled over White's mom. And he's only a sergeant, and the look on his face was like, oh shit. So long story short, the sergeant said to the headmistress, are you going to be talking about his daughter? And the head said, no, it's about the other children, not his child. So I said, this is about the kids not answering to the name. So this is what Wayne said to the officer. This is about the kids not answering to their name. So you will be talking about her. So the sergeant said to the headmistress, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave an officer here, and if you refer to his daughter in any way, my officer will be under orders to arrest you. Then the headmistress said to him, you can't do that. So he said, well, you go and say his daughter's name in your meeting, and you will see what I can do now. Go and have your meeting. Because the kids are looking out of the windows, and now you're making a scene. So she went into the meeting, and she was not happy, and a police officer went with her. The sergeant said, can I give you a ride home? And I said, no, thanks, we're good. And he said to me, do you know, now pay close attention here, guys. This is the keys to the game and what I've been saying all along, and this is in Wayne's words. Now, pay close attention to this. This is the sole contract being nulled and voided here. So he said to me, do you know that if the kids do not answer to the name, then they have to send the child home, because then they have no rights to keep the children in the school without the name. Then he looked at White and gave her a smile, got in his car, and went home. And one of White's dad's friends phoned me and asked what was going on, so I told him. So he went up to the officer that was in the meeting and said to him, are you going to arrest her if she says White's name? And he said, yes, I will. Just waiting to see what got said in the meeting. I'll let you know as soon as I do. And I haven't had an opportunity yet to really get up to speed. I know that White's not feeling well today. That is a sign of a powerful spirit and a body that's just not quite ready for it. we go through these purgings. You've probably heard a lot of us at the table lately, myself included, went through a week and a half worth of basically body strengthening, getting shut down in a most uncomfortable way. Just got to tell you, and just going through it. A lot of us have been going through it. Bob he was going through it, and of course White. So this is the problem when your spirit outpowers the body. The bodies just aren't quite for it. But what it does is it strengthens them up, and it just purges all that garbage and bad energy out. So don't worry, Gemini Tiger. This Gemini Dragon has her wings wrapped all around you, and told you, I'm your wingman. So let's fly. It's all good. So how's that for a wonderful little get her done? Lynn, you're in the call. How are you, baby?
Hi. Doing quite well. Oh wow, staring at this fabulous view right now, and having a lovely day. And you map reference, Steve Travesty. Thanks for sharing and posting. And wow, what some wild dreams you got going on there. That was fun to listen to. But mostly, thank you for sharing.
Oh, absolutely. I have great conversations with Steve, and he's got quite an interesting game going on around him, especially in the music scene that he's in. He's into the metal genre and really heavy stuff. And what he's such a walking, talking oxymoron. He's got this such beautiful, gentle heart and soul, and he's playing. And he shared this video with me. What was it called? Vegan. Oh, here I got to post this up. I was going to share it. It is so funny. It is a vegan black metal. That's it. Vegan black metal chef, and it's done with the black metal death track, and it's a guy in the full motif. It's so beautiful, showing people how to cook vegan food. It's awesome.
Can't wait to see it. Also, whoops,
go
sorry.
Ahead. No, go ahead, hon.
The Don Peyote movie.
Yes.
Now, Freeman Fly is promoting that. I think he might have a cameo in it or something. Somehow he's involved with Dan Fogelry or whatever his name is. And I had the chance to meet him in person, Freeman Fly. Kind soul. And he's traveled around America based on the premise that humanity will pull together and the kindness of others. He essentially has traveled on the kindness of others. And he gives back in every way he can. He's got a lot of eye-opening videos for us to watch, free. Now, and you can purchase his stuff, but he also lays it out there for free. So I haven't seen the movie yet. It just recently came out, though. So excited to watch that as well. And there was one more thing. Oh, I forgot. So there you go. Love you, and I just every day count my blessings to be a part of this table. And yeah.
Well, every day for me, coming to the computer is like Christmas morning. It's like, oh, what presents has the universe delivered today? And it's chock full. It's like people wonder, where do you get your energy from? Well, I don't know. Ask a child on Christmas morning where they get their energy to. First, not be able to sleep, and then, of course, when they do sleep, they get up real early and they want to race down again. The category of this whole feeling, right? And that's exactly how I feel. It's like, get up and I wonder what's out of the tree today, and it is filled with majesty and beauty, and people standing and begin to put into words the power of that little story that I just shared of what it has actually done. You start with one child who challenges the teacher and the headmistress, gets out of joint, and says that she will teach for a week, and the only answer the system can give her is to expel her for 2 weeks. And then just after that, her friends at school decide to say, well, no, we understand what White's saying. We're not going to answer to the name. And as a result of not answering to the name, there is no soul contract. And that's how fragile this illusion is. That is the veil that needs to be ripped down. And we got Borean jumping in with us as well. And and area code 173. Borean, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. And yeah, you just summed up every day for me too. It's like Christmas every day. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to say that, going back to the story of our little white knight, and yeah, this is definitely going to be the story of the week, if not the story of the month, and it resonates on so many different levels for me, anagogically, just the way that police officer, he had to defend the truth, and he had to stand in honor. He didn't even have a choice. And we all need to go back to that 7-year-old mentality where you don't need to know anything. All you need to do is just be and stand in truth. That's all you have to do. There's no there's no magic book to read or magic spell you need to know or anything you need to learn how to say or anything like that. It's just a beautiful thing. All you need to do is just be. And for some reason or another, I don't know why or what, but somehow, by golly, universal law has returned to our planet, and it is safe. It's okay now to stand up in your truth, and the universe is going to back you up, and so is Officer Johnny on the spot. He's going to back you up. He's going to defend you. He has to. He doesn't have a choice. So I just wanted to, shed more light on that, and it's beautiful, and I'm seeing evidence like this every day, just like you are, Kate, and it's just beautiful. It's like Christmas every morning, and this white knight just opened up a whole, can of worms just for people to see what is going on in the world. That the paradigm shift isn't. It isn't about to happen. It's fucking happening right now, right in front of everybody's eyes. And now's the time to do something about it. But go ahead.
Yeah, just like the movie. I got to tell you, there's one character that I really resonated with in a particular movie series, and of course it had to work this way, just coincidentally with the phonics. I am one who likes to call all. I beckon to all, of course, so the lead character in this particular series' name is Kate Beckons All. And I wholly identified with the character in the Underworld series. And if you can watch that anagogically, you will actually see how the energies are working here. And I've talked about the vampires and the werewolves and the whole concept, right? And don't get caught up in the literals with this stuff, guys. The literals are merely the effect of the anagogic intent of spirit, okay? So this reality that we have is played, it's the same story everywhere. It's just played out in different ways, different literals, right? One anagogic concept has created all of these literals. I just learned how to see the one story, the one common thread running through it all. So when you understand what happened there and what Borean was saying is so right on the money. When you remove yourself from being fed on by the vampires in the same way that the Kate Beckinsale, being one of them, ended up working against them, is exactly what's happening here. So what happens is when you reclaim your soul, and I know this sounds very far-fetched, and it is for so many people because we've been caught in this literal religiocosis, chosenitis, systemic, corporate-controlled, robotic, automatonic mindset, and it's delivered to get you inside this little physical box to think that that's all you are. You're just a meat stick and get over it. Sorry, you're way more than that. I know this. So when you look at what happened there, White had separated her, and Wayne had separated themselves from the vampires. They know who they are. Now, when you give a legal name, this goes back to the soul contract. I've covered this in the Babylon is Fallen essay. For those that haven't read it, if you want the whole game, the culmination of 4.5 years of my work is in one page now. And I urge you, read Babylon is Fallen. That's the complete overview. And all of the details are spelled out in essays and documents and whatever writings on the caveofgaia.wordpress.com website. And everything there is free, guys. So please, if you can't spend a day or two for yourself reading in full meditation, that's why I like writing, because people, when I'm reading, I'm in meditative state, just to really get a handle on what's going on here. When you understand what happened with Wayne and White getting literally their souls back, what happens is their causal ability returns. And now that they've separated themselves from the, quote, vampires, elites, dark principalities, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't matter to me. It's just dark entities to me. Not the mere opposite of what I would do. Once you do that, you have separated yourselves from this parasitical drain of your soul, quite literally, and your enslavement of soul, quite literally. And what happens then is the werewolves that worked for the vampires must now work for you. It's how it works. And this is a beautiful way of how to spot those that are in uniform that have soul. For those that haven't seen the movie They Live, have a look at that movie, and you'll see when a couple of cops show up, you see one alien type and one human. So again, I'm not going to paint everyone with the same brush. I will paint the whole thing with the same brush, and it's up to us to spot the things that are within it. It's very difficult concepts to convey because they're so very simple. Let's just say that the vampires and werewolves have infiltrated all levels on this planet, from the very, very low level ranks to the very, very high. And, of course, I like to call out the Jesuits on this one because that's their modus operandi, infiltrate all levels so that they can influence from within. And for me, once you understand who you are, what Maureen was saying there, it will become Christmas every day for you. The universe will stand with you. When you choose to stand in truth, well, universe will stand with you. If you choose to deny the truth, well, then the universe is going to give you a little test, little snaps in the back of the head, little stone finger action until you wake up. And that can start out as a feather, here's your warning. And then it can be a little pebble, ouch. Then it can be a rock where, you get gouged. And, of course, eventually, if you're still not getting it, you're going to get a mountain tossed on you. Oh, you'll get it at that point, I assure you. But anyway, area code 173, you're in the call here, my friend. What's on your mind? Hello, caller 173. Brand new caller. I've never seen the number before. I think I hear you. Everyone that had their hand up's already talked. The only one that hasn't is you. So if you haven't talked yet, come on in.
Okay, it's Dee. It might be mine, but this is I'm calling from England, and I'm calling from the same number I called before, so I didn't think that was me.
It's probably a standard number, Dee. How are you doing? Great to hear you.
Hi. yeah, doing great, thanks. Wow, it's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the truth is so simple. This is the hard part.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why I am literally just calling out everybody. If you're in the truth movement and you've got a high profile and you're not standing in truth, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to get your attention. I'm going to get your goat. And by the way, just a nice humble bow and a great big thank you to Igan. Apparently I got his goat, and I've been texting back and forth. We'll see where that goes. But again, this is about getting down to the nitty-gritty. Because here's the post that I put on Facebook. I want to share this because this is the only thing. This is where you're going to run into problems with K to Gaia. It's the only place you're going to run into it. And this is what I posted Steve Travesty's video. The title of the video, by the way, I put it on Facebook, is Hated Patriot, Episode 32, The Rebellion Strikes Back. And Steve gives his synopsis of what happened to him in the court after we had a little chat as far as to what all he needed to say to be in there. And, of course, he walked in, said it, and walked out. That simple, that easy. But here's what you're going to run into with me. I'll just read the post out. It's on my Facebook. I'll read the whole thing out with regards to Steve Travesty. and the little video that he put out. It's only half hour long, and yeah, crazy awesome dreams this guy has. I've talked to him about a few of them. So this is someone who knows who they are. My apologies to all the legal game worshippers, freemen on the land, gurus, sovereign citizens, etc. types, where all of their little bits of legal paper are only useful as arsewipe, and all legal remedies that don't exist are a waste of time and are actually trapping their fellow man, worshipees, fall lowers, souls, literally. If you're promoting legal remedy, you're promoting soul slavery. Now ask me why I'll call you out live on the air as a wanker, etc. The simple truth is this. If a child gets harmed by system, anyone at all promoting that system in any way is party to that harm, and now you have me to deal with, and I promise you, I will not be gentle with you. Thank you, Steve, for standing in your light and exposing the criminality of legal land illusions. I stand shoulder to shoulder with you and the countless others that are now doing the same. And that's it. You're messing in the system and you're still playing it. You're harm that's allowing children to be harmed. You got this bitch to play with, and I'm not nice. And I think you know that. I think anyone that's been at the table, you get in between me and the kids, you got an issue. Serious.
It's great. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, this is pretty much all I'm talking about. I think this is all there is to talk about. I haven't got need for any other kind of conversation right now. And my little one, Ted, yeah, I'm sure you're going to be mentioning this about what the video that Ninja's put up just today, and it's just fantastic. I got Ted, he's 8, and he watched it, and we've had a conversation. I've put a little bit about that on your Facebook as well, about how that went. And then, just as we were listening to that, then I've got a big gap in the ages of my children, and my eldest son walked in. He's 23, and this is Aaron, and he's always been my teacher, and he's the one who told me about the birth certificate about 3 or 4 years ago. And this guy's really, and he's just in there, you know, he knows stuff. And I'm not saying that I didn't listen to him at the time, but it hadn't all come together for me at that point. And it's just, you know, you were sort of where it was leading to, finding out the real essence of all this information. And so obviously we're talking about it as well. And as we're talking, he told me about a book that he's just read just last night. I don't know if it's, I'll put him, is it okay, Kate, if I put him on?
Oh, please. And actually I was going to read the post. I'm looking for the post that you shared regarding, it's Tim, right?
Ted.
Ted.
Yeah.
I was just looking at something, Timothy. Don't sugarcoating the truth is dangerous to your soul.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that as well.
Don't sugarcoat anything. Oh, I would love to. Everyone is welcome to this table. You don't need to ask permission. Say, here's my son. Get him on. But I would like to share that post. I'm just looking for it right now. If I can do that before he comes on. Oh, come on, where is it? My Facebook page gets hammered. I love it. It's Christmas. It's like I'm watching all of these people go crazy awesome, wide awake.
My kids love that story. All weekend long, they're like, "No names here, mate."
Isn't it a great story? I love it.
It's hilarious.
It's perfect.
No,
truth.
it's a very powerful story. My kids loved that story. They were just blown away by it. And now it's kind of, you know, I say, "Hey, Ethan, get over here," and he's like, "No names here, mate." You little.
That's awesome. And it's true. That's why truth is funny, because it's laughter is a sudden realization of truth. Oh, here we go. I just found it, Dee. So here we are. If I had a chance to talk to Ted a bit more about this, I love this. This is great. I was going to share this even if you hadn't showed up, by the way. So finally had a chance to talk to Ted a bit more about the school registered deal and told him about White and what she's been up to. He's so interested. I asked him, why do you think the teacher needs to call out your name twice a day and get you to say I'm here when he can so clearly see you there in flesh and blood? I saw the penny drop. His eyes lit up and he said, I thought about that. Yeah, why do they do that? So I explained and told him what happened with White's school, and police called in and adults like chickens with heads cut off and told him how much power children really have, and he's grinning ear to ear. Watch this space. Oh, I plan on it. Now, guys, just get the visual. of the headmistress's face when the sergeant that she called, thinking that Daddy was going to come and beat everybody up for her, turning to her and say, "Listen, you utter this girl's name, I'll have this officer arrest you." That's what happens to slaves. Now, this is the truth, guys. This is why this officer was working for Wayne and White now, because he has to. The officer can only corral their slaves, and anyone with a legal name that identifies with a legal name and thinks that's who they are is under a sole contract. So the policeman, who is now working as literally both sides of the coin now, is acting as the vampire werewolf to the slave headmistress, and acting on behalf of Wayne and White as their werewolf, tamed, working. Do you see the duality and the singularity of this? This is so profoundly powerful, and I got to tell you, there is going to be an essay puked out at some point when this all comes together in my universe. But this is so profoundly powerful, and this is exactly what's happening. What this is another allegory of the movie Warm Bodies at the end, where the warm bodies and the truthers, that's us, come together and work together to take out the skeletons, the dead, the Death Eaters. So carry on, Dee. I love this. This is crazy awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Okay, pass you over to Aaron.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you? Welcome to the table.
Hi, I'm okay. I'm good. Yeah, I came in and basically I was talking about this book that I was reading last night called Terror Revelations, which is a book by Richard Roberts. I think it was written like 1976. It was around the 70s anyway. And there was a passage that I read out which was behind one's name, number, and horoscope lies the archetypal essence, or God, if you will, that uses these to specify one's own divinity, which I thought was quite interesting because my mum's obviously delving into the role of the name a lot in terms of legal name and how that obviously is used to contract you out to the state and so forth. But it goes deeper than that. Obviously, the name as a mystic name is quite an interesting thing that I'd like to delve into more. But it's just this one passage that I came across, and she wanted me to share that.
Please do.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I don't actually know that much in terms of the name and in terms of the mystical meanings behind the name.
We'll talk about
that.
Aaron, we'll talk about that right after you read the passage, because the pivotal thing is the mystical aspect, and that's what we've uncovered. So read out your passage, and let's talk about that a little bit, because people really need to get this on the ethereal level, their spiritual God essence level. So carry on.
Sure, yeah. Well, that was it. That was what I read out, which is behind one's name, number, and horoscope lies the archetypal essence, or God, if you will, that uses these to specify one's divinity.
Perfect. That's it. Now let's put it.
It's just that short sentence.
Yeah, let's put that into layman's terms, because that is the sum up of everything I talk about. So let's expand it just a little bit to clarify. There was a palette created from the first pharaoh, and this to me is the original curse, the Narmer palette curse from the Scorpion King, known as King Meme. Now, this was all uncovered phonetically, and it was just pure magic as we were uncovering this. We talk about our aha moments, and I showed people how the capital A and the capital H, when they're stacked properly, create DNA. So when you have an aha moment, what you're doing is recovering your program, your DNA program within. And for me, and I've talked about this a long time, in order to know thyself, well, you better dig into everything about you, the numerology of your name. All of these things will connect, and you will see it, but you've got to look at a lot of stuff, but it's all be around you. The day you were born is critical to you, where you were born, the name that you were given. This is why the name was so critical to be stolen, connected to the child. We talked about this in great detail. And I will write an essay with regards to how the 9 months that the body is left at sea within the womb, there's no soul in it, and how the system actually contracts that with the gift, the gamete fallopian transfer, that becomes the given name, and that's why there is the ethereal contract when the name is given by mom and dad to the system to register to rule the divine feminine creative essence. That's where that is literally a salvaged ship at the point of conception. Quite devious, because when you really look at things, my reality is simply this. I remember the day I was born and when I grabbed the body, and it wasn't inside the womb. I was outside waiting for the car to come off the assembly line. No one buys a car at the beginning of the assembly line. They wait for it to come off the end to get the make and model that they need and choose to drive. So that goes back to what you were saying about the divinity, right? Your divinity and who you are. So
yeah, definitely.
When people finally get the notion that there is a spiritual contract, remember the name that was given to you was created by mom and dad or someone. It wasn't you. And when that name is registered, that was the rightful owners of that intellectual property that registered that. And because it has a spiritual contract with you, it's at that point that the body can be assumed and presumed lost at sea and salvaged and freely given up through the birth certificate, and it's a soul contract.
Sure.
So when people get to that level, they start to understand how this works on the magic levels. Now, the importance of knowing who you are. I looked at everything. I looked at my Western zodiac. I looked at the Chinese. I looked at the Mayan. I looked at the numerology. I looked at the spellings, the gematria. And, of course, being transgendered, I actually have two life paths. The word name etymologically means way. So when, for example, if a cop was to ask you for your name, what they're really asking you, what is your way? Are you of the whore of Babylon commerce, or are you you? And I go back to March 14th, where I ran off 3 Ontario Provincial Police thieves. That's all they are to me, because they like stealing shit cars. The tow truck showed up and left, too. Everyone ran away. But that's a difference. I told them, it's live on the air for anyone that wants to hear that confrontation, if you will, which it wasn't. I was live on the air doing a show when this occurred, so they got to hear what I said, and I listened a little bit to it, and you can hear what the werewolves were trying to contract me with. Now, the werewolves are the ones that go out with the Narmer palette, that little book they carry, and as soon as you give them a name, and of course they'll ask you how to spell it, they want you to spell yourself onto the Narmer palette, at which point now they're working for the vampires, and they can feed on you, your soul. The vampires feed on your soul, and the werewolves feed on your physical. It's really that simple.
Yeah. No, it's all making sense now when you're explaining it to me. I mean, I haven't looked into the way in which the magic relates to the legal name, the birthing system, all that. I've recently been delving into tarot, so that's what I came with today when I was speaking to my mum. But no, what you've just said is really interesting. I definitely have to look more into the link between the meaning of the name as a mystical thing and that which is used, obviously, against us.
Well, I shared
that's really interesting.
I have shared all of this in excruciating detail. It would take you about a day or two to go through my writings on my website. It's all there.
This is what my mum has been explaining to me.
It's all there. And it's a play-by-play, step-by-step, as we at this table, myself and everyone, have been evolving together. It is all there step-by-step and full experiential, not theory. Everything I write from experience, not theory.
Brilliant.
Big difference.
Yeah. No, that's the thing, because of being at university as well, is the way in which theory can be used often to stop you from having your own original thoughts a lot of the time as well. It's like kind of reproducing the dead almost, in some ways. So it's really refreshing to hear that you're coming from personal experience rather than just trying to give out lots of theories all the time to prove something. So that's good.
Well, I have a very simple philosophy. I'm strong enough to walk through minefields ahead of others that I know may not be able to. So I take it upon myself to walk the minefields. If I find a mine or two, and I found lots, it only cost me my family home and everything else, so I found the mines.
Yeah.
So I also found the things that I would never want someone else to experience if they choose not to. And, with what we're sharing, people have stopped foreclosures in the driveway. servers and police, bailiffs, judges, everybody. Because here's the thing, without the name, this is how powerful this truth is. Without the name, if you know who you are, you cannot be contracted. And it doesn't matter what you have registered. It doesn't matter what you think you have given up, because until you get this, all things registered are all surrendered to the crown. You have no claim to it. And I love these people that fight for their stuff and they don't know who they are. Well, they gave it up when they registered it, right?
Yeah.
And that's a tough pill for people to swallow.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, people use their name, obviously, thinking that they're talking about themselves, and they're not representing themselves when they use it. That's, I think, the first trick, obviously. So, it's really. I'll have to definitely delve into the Phoenician roots of this as well. That really interests me.
Phoenician Starter Kit is an idea on my site, and I go through that in great detail as well. And it's all,
check that out.
Yeah, everything's in the phonics. That's where the magic really exploded. And I got to tell you, over the last few months at the table here and what we've been exposing, it's just been aha moment after aha moment, and it has been crazy. Now, getting back to the Narmer palette, the first pharaoh, King Mean, was also known as King Aha, and he had a son called Aha, A-H-A. You can't make this up. This is so profoundly magical and comical. It's a cosmic joke we're playing here. And people are
definitely
getting too caught up in the joke. That's all good, though.
Yeah.
But you're having fun. That's the main thing, right?
Oh, yeah. You're playing as you go. That's true. It's a cosmic dance sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. But I got to say, Aaron, thank you for that quote, because that is a summation. Why don't you read it one more time, what we've just talked about?
Sure. And
it'll sink in a whole lot deeper. Listen closely.
Okay. Just a second, and I'll have it back for you.
Oh, no rush here. We're not in a hurry. We only have forever. Literally.
Yeah. Behind one's name. What's that? When you're trying to find something?
Yeah, I know, it's awesome. Yeah, go ahead. Behind one's name.
Behind one's name, number, and horoscope lies the archetypal essence, or God, if you will, that uses these to specify one's divinity.
Any questions? Know thyself. Is it a coincidence?
That really stood out for me last night.
Yeah, well, here, let me show you the profound nature of my path and why it was so important. I broke it, both names down phonetically as well. But, of course, born June 15th. Well, that's when I grabbed the body, right? That's the day the Magna Carta was signed in 1215. The family name is Thompson, and the motto is Noscati Ipsum, which is Know Thyself, of course, my initials, KT, in both male and female versions. My name came from my initials, and the big clue of my initials, which were WKT. I had to look at it, and then I went phonetically, and I went, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm a Gemini Dragon, 1964, and W, Katie. Isn't that funny? Gemini, transgender.
Yeah, how it all links up. There's the synchronicities.
That's the thread. I found my thread, and all I did was I kept pulling it until the whole sweater unraveled.
That's a great way of describing it. Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely going to have to delve into this more.
I wish I could really put into words how incredibly awesome every one of you are. Grab your little thread and start pulling on it and unravel your truth within, your reality, and it will just pour in front of you. And you're going to have, I got to tell you, searching out my own name, life path, and all the rest of it, I had the most profound aha moments. And it was only in this that kept me going to the degree that I could keep going through all of the nonsense I was going through, because I knew, I didn't believe, I knew that I had to walk.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, when you know with your whole being rather than knowing purely with the head. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't turn away from this. I tell people all the time, when you find a truth, you've only got two options. You stand in it or you deny it. And either way, you're going to have a test. The difference is, that's the catch-22. When you find a truth, you're in a catch-22. Ka-ti-ki, which is spirit of the law of truth of life. Ka-ti-ki. right? 22 master nodes.
Yeah.
That's your quad, the 1111. All right.
22 is of the major arcana as well.
Exactly.
22 cards.
Yep. I read tarot. I've done quite a bit of that on air as well, and that's another path that I followed as well. And 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the major, minor arcana, and all the tarot. Which one do you use, by the way?
I was using Crowley's deck, but now I'm delving more into the AE White deck, the white deck.
Oh, okay. I have the Arthurian. I love the artwork, and the Arthurian legend, which is the Christ story as well. They're all the Christ story, by the way.
Yeah. The dying and resurrecting God, yeah.
Yeah. The Holy Grail is you, and you're the cup that needs to be filled with truth, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the Arthurian legend really appeals to me, from Belfast. So the whole Celtic tradition, and I was raised in it, and
yeah, same.
This is what appeals to me, right? So again, the magic of finding the truth is find those things that you really love, but don't get caught in the entertainment. Entertain means mirror, and means mind. Don't enter the mirror of the mind.
Yeah.
Look at it godly.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
don't get stuck behind the looking glass.
Exactly. We can get so dazzled in the things we love to do and miss the truth that we need to see. So it's just about breathing and not taking stuff so seriously, but look at how important things are as they relate to you and only you. Because at the end of the day, as I tell everyone, you're the only point of consciousness you can prove that exists. You can't prove that I exist. I can't prove that anyone outside of me exists. This is why you must trust no one but self. And your heart will lead you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I know.
Well, that's the joy of truth. When it hits you, you kind of go, 1 + 1 = 2. I can deal with it.
Exactly. I mean, I was having so many of those aha moments last night when I was reading the book, and I had the tarot laid out. So I was writing them down, trying to, go over them in my mind over and over and thinking about them at depth. So, yeah, it's just something to go over again, basically, when I get back to it. But you've really helped me there. Thanks for that.
Well, I'll tell you, you spend the time on my website, and I'm not saying it because it's mine, because these words, it doesn't matter what the concepts are. The concepts belong to all. If you would use the same words to describe the same concepts, whose essays are they? Well, they're yours. So all I'm trying to do, I don't lay claim to anything. The only thing I do is go, this is what I found. Does it resonate with you? And that's my own confirmation for self as well. But I promise you this, as I've promised everyone, you go to my website and go to the Kate's writings and just read. By the time you get through them all, you will have lost count of your aha moments, and you will be so empowered into the true essence of you. And that's my only intention. I want you to find the power of you. I already found mine. I don't need to worry about it. I'm not here to save anybody. I came here to save myself, and in that process of finding that road, just share it. There's the road. You got to walk your own road.
You revealed the yellow brick road for people to follow. Yeah, I get that.
We all have one. It's a fractal. I just spotted the fractal. That's all. And I cherry.
Yeah.
I
it opens up many more fractals.
Yeah, I cherry picked the best of the best. No point. I mean, you got people that are amazing researchers in every field. I don't have time to be a specialist in everything. So I go and I look for all the things that resonate with me, and I cherry pick the things that resonate. And they've come from everywhere. People at the table. Again, I'm just the co-creation and the culmination of my experience as being co-created by all of you, by the reality around me. This is what co-creation is. So we're co-creating God in our own image. It'll be ours this time, though, not someone else's version of it. That's all.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's being more original. This time around.
Again, less loose.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I didn't know whether I should pass this on. Do you want it back, Mum? Do you want to talk some more? Yeah. She's gonna come back on. It was really good to hear from you, and I'll definitely be finding out more.
And get on Skype and get in the groups with us. There are thousands of us.
Yeah, no, I hear. No, definitely I will.
Growing day by day. So great talking with you, Aaron. Yeah, put your mom back on, and we're running about another 45 minutes to the end of the show here. I hate calling them that, but anyway, the table talk. Sure. I should get back to the board and see who's. We got hands up. We got the witness, and there's Ninja. Sorry, Ninja. And Ouija. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, good night, Kate.
Oh, good night, you.
Love you. I've got to go now. I've got to put Ted in bed.
Okay, love you, and a big hug and a squeeze for Ted, and tell him thank you from me personally for standing.
Oh, I will.
Much love.
Hi, Dee. It was nice chatting with you earlier. I'm just going to say that before you rush off, and it was wonderful.
Okay, Linda.
Yeah, hi. It was wonderful listening to your oldest. Is it your oldest son there? Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I know, you probably meet the whole family eventually.
Oh, I hope so, yeah.
They're all clued in.
I've just had an education from a young sovereign there, so yeah, thanks for that. It was a delight. Wonderful.
Thanks to all you guys too.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll be chatting a lot more soon, so I know you're involved with us now. Okay.
Yeah. I just want to say that on nights when it's too late for me to stay up, to be on the radio show, I've figured out that I'm actually there anyway. I go there in my sleep. It keeps happening. I wake up at just about the time the show will have ended, and I've been dreaming about it the whole time, and I know I've been there.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Cool. It is. Okay, good night, guys.
Magic. Good night, Dee. Much love to you guys. Good night, Aaron. Good night, Ted, everybody.
Bye.
And we'll chat soon. Wow. So I was going to take a second here to do the little shout out for the station. So let me do that. And we got Ouija, got Ninja, and Witness. You guys are all in here. But just want to put this on. I just got to find. There it is. Found it. Well, that being said, I'll get it running anyway, because we have 43 seconds until someone starts talking in this. But the power that you all wield, that you all have within you, is so incredible. And to explain and try to describe the frustration within me, knowing this, and watching so many fumble with it, and then of course when one finds it, when one sees who they truly are, to describe the power and the gratitude that I feel, that is Christmas to me. That is the most beautiful of presents opened. That's you, the magic contained within.
Their walls are falling. The momentum is now with us. It's our time now. At the most pivotal point in history is Critical Mass Radio.
It's Critical Mass Radio.
Truth Radio.
Truth Radio.
Help us to help you. Please go to www.criticalmassradio.co.uk and subscribe £1, £2 or £3 a month. The critical mass has been reached. We must come together. We must stand together. For ourselves, for each other, for our future generations. criticalmassradio.co.uk. Now, it's our turn.
And just like that, someone's got their speakers on, so please be mindful of feedback. It was kind of neat having that reverb effect. That was pretty interesting. Anyway, so we're back here. Whoever wants to jump in, help yourselves.
Yeah, hi Kate. I'm going to jump in right quick because you know how it is for me. I'm hanging by a thread here. I almost couldn't get on at all. So, it was lovely to come on and hear that conversation you had there with Aaron. Oh, wow. This is what we want. We want more of the younger people coming in now, don't we? And, he was so spot on and so tuned in, wasn't he? Wasn't it wonderful?
Oh, yeah, again, that's it. I mean, children are the ones that are going to take this planet back. It's up to us to show them the way to do it. They're the ones in the true power, because the more indoctrinated and corrupted children get as they get forced through that Play-Doh machine to form them into something they're not, the less power that they wield from the magical dream state of being who and what they truly are. So this is one of the joys of Kate's Kids Cove, in that the whole premise behind it is to allow children to develop themselves, what makes their heart sing, what makes them dance, what they're interested in, what they love to do. And our goal is simply to provide the things that they need to enhance what they want to choose. And that's really, you will not get that in a typical corporate school, because it's not, the system doesn't want you to be you. They want to be what they want you to be in their image of an automatonic robot, smart enough to run their machines and too ignorant to understand why you ever would. Pretty simple, really.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just too simple, isn't it? And adults seem to have some difficulty with that. Obviously, the children or the young people are not having those difficulties, and that's just because they haven't had quite so many years in conditioning yet, you know. So, yeah, moving forward, rapid fire, next steps, next generation, and over she goes.
Just like that, you know, the ship is sinking and the phoenix is risen. The headline from Suspicious Observers the other day, which was Myonagogic confirm, the ship being Admiralty and all things involving the Triple Crown system of Vatican City, City of London, District of Columbia, Washington, the three countries that make up the Triple Crown, that is coming down. You know, Jack and Jill went up a hill to fetch a pail of water. They were looking for truth. Jack fell down. That's your Union Jack. And broke his crown, gave away his power. And Jill came tumbling after, but it's okay, because Tom is Tom is twin, right? Right? And Blink, not Bling, G is the hex, right? It's the twin Blink. Jill came tumbling after, which means we've finally awakened to both sides of this duality, and we're seeing the singularity. The Union Jack has fallen down. The double cross, and you will see it contained within, is exposed. It's a really simple game. The only thing that has a linchpin that connects you to your soul contract, and it is a contract of soul, is your agreement or consent to be a legal name. Nothing more, nothing less. A simple way to show yourself how this is real, as I can tell you right now, that not once in your life have you received one piece of mail. It never came to you. It came to a legal name. So when someone says that I got something in the mail, they've recontracted to thinking that they're that name. I would just simply say something came in the mail. Now, mind you, the joy of knowing this is when something comes through the Postal Service to me, it is come to me. Because the name that is on it is mine, is chosen, is not registered. It is a map reference only. It's not. I can be called many things, and I know there's a lot of shills and truther gurus out there right now calling me a lot of things other than Kate of Gaia. Happily, got your attention, got your goat. Come on into the pen here, and let's get you sorted, because there's no more harming the kids and not allowing it. So that's the difference. And now, once you understand this, you can choose what male is yours and what male isn't. Remember, male is masculine intent. So this is where you get to choose your intent. And also understand this critical fact and why everything I send out is contract. If you've got an email address or a mailbox that's open, that means you accept all contracts because you gave it out freely and willingly. That's the password to your soul. So there you go. I send out all the time, all manner of fun stuff, very cheeky stuff, because that's what I like to do. And I know it's pure contract, because the open vessel at the other end says that they accept all contracts. People ask me, do I expect a response? No. I don't need a response. I've already given it life. To respawn something, sorry, the buck stops here. When I send a contract, it is signed, sealed, delivered, unreturnable, because I'll send truth out. And now, the only choice the individual on the other end has is to stand in it or deny it. And I talked about that earlier, and I wouldn't want to be the one denying it. Not at this point in the game. No, not a good idea. There we go. Weechi, where are you? And Witness, you guys haven't jumped in yet.
Yes, good evening.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás? Guapa.
Bene, bene.
Yes. Turning tables. We call it turning bitches I think we have a cultural eating culture then. Wentelteefjes. It's typical Dutch. Finally, I can be proud. Yeah. I talked with my son in the car. I told him about the kids forum, and he was sighing like, "Oh, they did not put me in a group, huh?" So I said, "No, of course not." It's so I started to explain a little bit, like the forum that I applied to it today, and actually I explained it's like totally different than the school where you're at. You choose what you want to learn, or you can ask questions, and probably it's in different languages, but he speaks Spanish as well. So I said, well, perhaps it's Spanish, or perhaps your children don't need any language, And then he looked at me and smiled. So, yeah, we'll see how he will relate to this stuff, and makes me smile.
Well, exactly, and it won't take long. We're already seeing it. It won't take long for the kids to wake up to this, and this is the joy of it, because when they're this young, especially in around the 7-8 years old, they're in such a power position to manifest on such a level adults can't even fathom it. I know. I watch it. It's friggin' awesome. Now you tell me what's going to happen. And what I can see happening already is that these children that wake up now will never bow to system.
Yeah.
They will never bow to system. A child cannot commit fraud.
Yeah.
Children only lie because their parents teach them to.
Yeah.
That's why lying to my children, telling them there was Santa Claus and everything else. Well, I made my amends in that and apologized. It wasn't it wasn't with malintent that I did that, but it's a very subtle thing that if you say something exists and it doesn't, I'm sorry, you're a liar. So the legal system is Santa Claus to me. Gurus, free men, all the rest of you whackers that are still playing in it and promoting it, you're lying to humanity. Most importantly, you're lying to yourself. And I'm just going to urge you to stop doing that, because every harm that comes to a child is on my shoulders. And that what you do to the least of me, you do to me. And that's not a good thing. My magnetic electric is not going to tolerate that. And it's just, I have to tell you, the more responsibility that I personally take on, and the knowledge and awareness and wisdom of no vengeance. This is the joy of this. There is no vengeance in this at all. This is this universal, pure universal law kicking it down. That which you wish upon another is wished upon yourself. I merely grant the wish now. You wished harm upon me? Well, then fine. You've wished it upon yourself. I grant your wish. It's not something I would do to you, but you've already done it to yourself. There's no need to prove that in a court that something wrong happened, because it happened. If there was a malintent there, something was harmed, you've got the responsibility to accept the harm you've created.
Yeah.
There's no hiding behind the whore of Babylon's skirt hem. It's a dead fiction.
It's the highest of the purest, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the only place I'm targeting.
Yeah.
Every single day, working harder and faster and better towards that. And this mission is not to concern myself with anyone outside of me but me. I'm the one that has to sort me out. I'm the one that has to look at all of the things. Anything that comes up within me in terms of any tinges of emotion here and there, I deal with them. I look at why is that still there, and I go, okay, so I have to accept responsibility for that domino that caused that to make that rebound happen on me. Okay, I can see where I caused it and where I became an effect to my own cause. Remember this, everything that you are an effect to, you caused. You did it to yourself. And that, for me, is the biggest lesson of all. So this is why I look at everything now in complete gratitude, because now I can see the contrast of what I did to myself through my cause and my effect of that cause. Because everything you cause upon another, you've created an effect not only on them, but on yourself. Remember that. It's always a mirror, a complete mirror. When you put out benevolence, when you put out love, truth, and understanding, knowledge and wisdom, isn't it funny how it all shows up at this table? Because that's what I'm putting out. So what am I to expect? That which I am putting out, I'm seeing coming back in the mirror in every one of you that shows up at this table with your own beautiful awareness, knowledge, love, compassion. And that's another magic word I'd like to make very clear with people. We have had our compassion used against us for so long.
Yeah.
We are naturally innocent, naturally compassionate, and we can never imagine someone or something being so evil as to do that. And that is our biggest Achilles heel. So let's heal up the heel, shall we? And as simple as this. If you saw a rabid dog going crazy, thrashing in the streets, what would you do? Would you let it continue? I just choose to put it out of its misery now. You cannot rationalize with psychopathy. You cannot reason with insanity. The only thing you can do is pure compassion, and you put one in its head. That's an allegory.
It's a kind of a hostage.
Well, you know, we're going to be a great word to use for that, too, because we are a hostage to our own compassion. Yeah. And the minute we finally realize that the act of getting rid of evil is the greatest compassion act of all, the sooner we'll stand.
Yeah.
There's no need to rock the boat. It's simply a matter of sailing your own, you know, so I just choose to sail my own. Go ahead, guys. Jump in here.
I would love to. I was sitting here thinking of the power and the magic of knowing who I am. I have observed that I am completely invisible to the so-called authorities, while at the same time, I'm highly visible to those that are at effect to me or to be affected by me, just by seeing me perhaps, or my smile. It's magical. It's absolutely magical to see this. So more confirmation of knowing who you are and the power that we have as a result of that. So there you go. Love you.
Right on the money, Lynn. Right on the money, honey.
Right on.
Yeah.
It's I tell you, it's just magical. So yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Hello, my friends.
Hey, there you are. How you doing?
What's up? Just listening to the show, man. It's just reinforcing everything, like you're saying, and everything. You know, these guys are out there pumping that stuff out there. I mean, like you said the other night, when you think about it, why haven't they went to the truth? It's so obvious. It's obviously because they know that they ain't shit legal mumbo jumbo they pumping out that they've learned, and they can't leave it because they won't be nothing no more. And they won't be able to suck money out of people and whatever else they're doing, whatever they're, you know. That's the great thing I love about this is, you know, you don't hear you going, hey, send me some money, or, you know, you do it out of your heart if you want to, but no one's forcing you. Truth is free, brother. You know, and
I'll tell you. Absolutely. And when I finally figured it out, that's when the universe showed up, and I don't have to worry about that. And as a matter of fact, I get to be a beautiful conduit to pass it forward in so many ways. Yeah, see, the buck stops here spiritually, but it passes through physically. And it's an amazing thing. Yeah, I talk about the universe providing all the time, and I'll tell you, there was a long time that I doubted that. And when I finally came to terms with it and said, okay, fine, whatever, that's when that's when everything I needed, and that's all I asked for. Didn't even have to ask for that because universe, Mama already knows. The real Mama knows her children, what the children need. Everything showed up, and to the degree and responsibility I could take upon myself was the measure of that. And I know everything's perfect. This is the mind-boggling part. I just accept it as such, and it is. It's so perfect. I have no words. I often wonder why I can talk so much, because most of the time I really have no words to describe that which I'm experiencing, and I'll just do my best. And of course, that's why this table's here, because you guys show up and we all get to take part in it together. This is the real magic. I'm watching the Kate's Kids Cove and all the translations, and I got to tell you guys, it is like this table and everyone connected to it just literally exploded in a supernova, and it's crazy going everywhere.
I think that Whore of Babylon really just boom. That really, the male thing, the white knight, standing in truth. Standing in truth, man, the more you do it, it's fun.
The easier it gets and the more fun it gets, and you get to see the craziest, awesome thing. Look, imagine Wayne and White standing there, and this cop turning to the headmistress that was giving them a hard time and was the one that called the cop, turn into the headmistress and says, yeah, you mentioned this girl's name? You'll be arrested.
That is amazing. That's what let us know that you don't need an ego no more. The egos being Steve and you and Mike, Mike are beating that ego out of me every night. It's going. It's leaving me. And you don't have to fight with these people. These people, if you know who you are and you stand in truth, they will protect you. They have to. They have to.
Universal contract.
They have to. They can't contract with you. So there's no reason to throw any harm their way. It's gonna come back and hit you. Let their harm hit me and bounce off me and hit them in the face. So whatever you wish upon me, sir, is gonna come hit me bounce off me and hit you in the face. I mean no harm. I mean no damage here.
I said that on that Friday night, March 14th. I said I wish you no harm.
It was money.
I am not going to step into your jurisdiction. I told him that. I said, I'm not consenting to be dead. That's your jurisdiction. I have my jurisdiction. You have yours, and they're not the same. So have a great night. Have a nice day. That's my favorite ending to any essay or anything I say to people in this regard. And it's because I mean it. Have a nice day. I wish you no harm. Have a nice day.
You said that in your video, too. I mean, in
the Judge Bowers video, yeah. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
And, of course, the scaredy cat bailiff goes, oh, you too. Yeah, that's why you were sitting cowering behind your master's skirt hems. Yeah, that was, boy, that's still fresh in the mind, and what an experience that was that day. 7.5 hours standoff to get a 2.5-minute video. What are the odds? Apparently pretty good, 100%.
Well, that video is, I know that it's 3 years old. We've peeled you, everyone's peeled layers upon layers upon layers from that date. But what that video is good for is to show somebody that is a zombie. Look, man, watch that, and you tell me how that happened. And they're all happened.
It's Court Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the others. You won't see that on TV, boys and girls. Maybe you're going to ask yourself this one question, the same one I ask myself all the time. Why? Why'd that happen? And that's all I cared about, finding out why. And again, my approach was different as well, because you hear all these people talking about how dishonorable the courts and everybody is. Well, that was pretty obvious, right? They're raping and pillaging people and blah blah blah. That's obvious. So there's only one logical question to ask here: how am I in a greater universal dishonor than that? And that's what I went looking for. I wanted to see, what is it that I'm doing that is more dishonorable than this? And that really was the magic for me. That was the magic key that I was relentless. I hounded that, and I was looking at why is it me that is causing this. Again, you are the effect of all your causes. So what is it that I need to see here that I am doing that is worse than what they're doing? And it always came down to the same thing. From every angle I looked at, it always came down to the legal name. And from there, it was, okay, why is this little legal name thing so critically important? What spiritual magic power is contained within this that enslaves humanity? Because everyone on the planet has one. They take it from cradle to grave, and they'll fight to the death to protect it. So I thought, okay, let's have a look at this. And then layer after layer of that got peeled. The armor palette, the curse connection, the birth certificate, the gift, the gamete intrafallopian transfer. I mean, we've covered this thing from, I have lost count of the angles of how many ways we've looked at this to expose it from the spiritual side, and every one of them says the same thing. And when you have the same thing happening over and over, you're doing different. Here's the difference. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Well, here's the mirror. We were looking at it from different angles constantly and ending up with the same result. It was a perfect mirror of a fractal. So if insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, then the true sanity is looking at something from infinitely different angles to see the same result. That's the literal, which is the anagogic, spread out in countless stories. There's only one story happening here. In the beginning, there was the word, and I've laughed often saying, imagine what we can do with 2 words or even a sentence. I'll stick with the word. It's confusing enough. So from that one concept, all of this fractal came out of. Many people talk about fractals. I hear the new cagers and what have you. Do they really know what a fractal is? A fractal is simply this. You watching yourself on TV, watching yourself on TV, watching yourself on TV, infinitely up and down. But it's the same picture, isn't it? But it's shown in fractals in infinite different ways. Another perfect example of that is the instant a woman becomes pregnant, the imprint of the embryo is in every cell at that instant. So these are the things that I look at. I'm constantly looking for it. Well, I constantly looked for the fractal and found it, and I can see it in everything. And that sounds very. It might sound very confusing and huge. It's not. It is so simple. When you can see Perseus being the same story as Little Red Riding Hood, the same story as Joseph, and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, the story of Christ, Muhammad, Buddha, Krishna. These are all the same stories. Humpty Dumpty. They're telling you the same thing. The Arthurian legends. The Holy Grail, seeking the why within. The why is the cup. The why is the Holy Grail. It's the only question you need answered. It's also the tree of life. It is a singularity, the single intent with infinite branches. It goes to 2, goes to 4, goes to 8, etc. And that is the fractal. If you find the first domino in every cause, you will see the fractal melt before your eyes. I've talked about it many times with the Songwriter Cafe that was set up, that ran for 8 years. It came from one idea of, I'm going to do a Songwriter Cafe where only original songs are allowed, and they must be played by the artists. I want to hear them. I want to hear the true soul that they are. And as a result of that one little domino, that one little thing, over 50 CDs were created that never would have been created. Marriages and children happened that never would have happened. When you start seeing the power of the cause of the you, the one, the singular, and this is why I'm going right back to White. Look at the domino that White tipped over. Now watch the fractal explode around her. That's the magic.
And it had to be easy. I mean, all those layers, but it had to be easy enough for a child to understand. And that's where I know it's a winner. And it has to be the truth.
Oh, you're so right. That was exactly it. My attitude was, looking at all of these gurus, the Tammy Peppermans and Dean Cliffords and Winston Strouts and all of this. I'm looking at this stuff. I can understand it because I can. And I'm looking at it as I went through all this shit. And I'm looking at it. How is the girl at Denny's working, 3 jobs, a single mom, trying to raise their children, and the trucker that's delivering food, and the janitor that's keeping something beautiful and clean, and whatever. Every game in life is critical. But how are these people going to have the time and wherewithal to break down the Uniform Commercial Code, the Uniform Commercial Code, the Universal Postal Union, the trust laws, the contract laws, and all of this? And I'm looking at these guys. Yeah, they're really, really good at what they do, playing the intellectual left brain ego game. But there is no friggin' way that a 5-year-old child could figure that out. So it had to be for the child. It had to be for the children. And that's where I stood, and it had to break down. And finally, I've got 4.5 years of all of my work finally down to one page. And that was my goal 4.5 years ago. And it is. It's in Babylon Is Fallen. That is the culmination of my work.
Well, let's look at the legal system. Let's look at the legal system. You got 70 million laws on the book, and you expect every single person to know them, and they're wrote in legalese, so you're not even allowed to understand them because you're not a bar member. So what kind of system is that?
Well, I'll tell you, the magic of this is simple, and it proves itself out in the most literal of senses. This is why lawyers have practice. They only practice law. That's why doctors only practice medicine. It absolves them of the responsibility of their ignorance. Do you want to play with someone that's just practicing how to build a nuclear bomb? Or would you rather kind of hang out with someone that knows what they're doing? And that's an allegory, not a literal. See what I'm telling you. See the simplicity of this. And you are the only one that can know thyself. Easy peasy.
I'm having fun.
That's what I'm doing.
This is the best movie of my life so far. I go out there in the real world, and my head's up high. I look people in the eyes. I drop truth bombs on everybody, and they can't help. You can't help it. It's fun.
You're
not scared no more. I have fears, but I'm beating them out of me. I'm beating that ego out of me. People
I was going to say, the walk and talk in kindergarten. We just live in the world of show and tell, and we can't wait to show everybody toys. That's all this is now.
Like I said the other night about school. Go to school, first day. I didn't go to kindergarten. I went to first grade. I was military, so obviously I was in the wrong place. I didn't get to preschool. First day of first grade, learn how to say the Pledge of Allegiance to the Tooth Fairy. The next thing we did, roll call, names, and then second grade, I remember the teacher would always okay, what we're going to do today is, I had a really good second grade teacher. We didn't do nothing but learn about dinosaurs and play games. That was the best thing. But what did happen in second grade was she would give us candy. Okay, who could read the best point? Who could read the point, a poem the best? We get a chocolate cigarette, or that was in England, so there's candy was different than in America at the time. And or who could make a paper airplane? And we'll go out to the park, out to the what do you call it, the recess area, and we'll see who could throw the farthest paper airplane. I was like, man, I made one of them long, sharp ones, took a bullet. I'm in second grade. Chick. I'm gonna win that damn piece of candy, and I guess that made me real competitive throughout my life, and it put a lot of ego in me, and I've learned through you and through the other guys in here that that's not where you want to be. You want to be centered. You just don't want to do stuff like that. It's not good.
You nailed it with the whole thing about competition, right? That's what they want to instill in the children, to compete with each other. Let's have a look at the word com, with, petite, small, Io, goddess, and infinite creation. Is that what you want? Do you want to be with the smallest creation? That's what competition phonetically means.
The musical chairs that you brought up many, many, many times on many shows is a prime example of what's going on in these program schools. Go ahead. Tell them again, Kate.
Oh, yeah. Well, musical chairs, right? The infinite competition to make one winner and 29 losers. Well, I reversed the game. The last one, I put one chair in the center of the room, and I say the last one, how did I put it? The last one to sit down wins, and nobody will ever sit in the first chair. And that's it. Now 30 winners, no losers. And it really is about reversing the intent. And here's the simplest truth of all. If you are competing against another to create something, you are divided and conquered. If you take that same competitive attitude and decide to simply co-create where it benefits all, and you put the two that we're competing together, now you have a co-creation powerhouse. So we've been doing it backwards all along. We've been dividing and conquering ourselves with competition instead of co-creating. If we co-create for each other, don't we all benefit? Doesn't everybody get, well, let's be literal. If everybody wanted a Ferrari, everybody could have a Ferrari. But then there wouldn't be that competition and that hierarchy attitude. I've often said that, for me to get from point A to point B, would I want a Ferrari? Sure, it'd be nice. Do I need one? Hell no. I've got my own little blue Ferrari Civic. I love it. And it's an invisible car. It's got all sorts of expired on it just to remind them who I am. That's the only reason it's there. This is Kate of Gaia. Don't mess with me. And they couldn't even touch their own plates that night, which was the funniest thing of all. There's no VINs in the car. I carry no ID, and I think I'm fairly well known to the system. I think I'm, might be known to a cop or two. Sarcasm. Maybe a pope and a queen or two. Because I made a point of, I didn't care that I knew their names. I wanted to know who the hell I was. And there's a new sheriff in town, and there's a new watcher watching them now. And that's what we do. Now, we got about 5 minutes till we roll out of here, guys. Just want to remind everybody that Ben is on right after me, 15 minutes actually. And, of course, stay tuned to criticalmassradio.co.uk for some chit-chat with Ben and some beautiful tunes getting spun. And just continue on great afternoon with Critical Mass Radio. Reminder to everyone, 7 nights a week, our table is open. It's your table, the Emerald Table at criticalmassradio.co.uk on the sister platform on Blog Talk. I share the links for that through Facebook and Skype, and everyone shares that as well. But that show runs midnight to 2 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, where I am. And everyone is welcome. Everyone. And including everyone that I've been calling out. I'd love to have you at the table to your case, because until you do, by one's actions, one is known. And if you're not selling truth, well, what are you selling? I don't sell anything. I'll leave that to the snake oil guys. Not interested. I ain't selling, and I sure as hell ain't buying, because everything in this reality is yours. You created it. You cannot claim one thing. Why would you claim one thing when you are all things? Have the experience, and that's what the Christ consciousness is. Capricorn plays it out perfectly. Experience or not experience. It's very simple. Something I would do, something I wouldn't do. That's the Christ mind. That's all you got to figure out. And everyone inherently knows within themselves the right and the wrong, the cause and the effect. If you do something that is going to harm someone, it's probably not a good thing. So when we enter the benevolent state of mind on a constant basis, and our intent is only benevolent, that's why when I call people out and shills and all the rest of it, it's only from a benevolent perspective to wake them up, to get their goat. To see, I've said it countless times. If I can get you to hate me enough to pay attention, to see how beautiful you are, it works the same as loving one enough. It's a singularity. I just choose not to be emotional about it and go, whatever it takes to get the truth out there is all I care about. And I'm so grateful to Paul Giovanni and the crew of Critical Mass Radio, and of all you guys. You're the crew of Critical Mass Radio as well. We do this together, and without you guys, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing in this reality right now would not be possible. We do this together. You've got the most important puzzle piece on the table. All I'm asking everyone to do is put it into the picture. It's not difficult. It really isn't. So any final thoughts from anyone would be greatly appreciated, and we're back on the air in about 4 hours. Ben is coming up in about 20 minutes. Tony, we got you in there. Oh,
hey, Kate, how are you?
Good.
Long time no talk to. How you been?
Good. Yeah, it's been a while, my friend. About time you showed up at the table. I hope you show up tonight again, will you? We can have a longer chat instead of 4 minutes.
Yeah, I apologize. I wasn't even paying attention, and I honestly I didn't even know the hour that you ended your midday show. But I have been tuning in. I know you've seen me on the board.
Oh yeah.
So I have a legal question for you, Kate, but it's kind of a unique situation. I've meditated on it. I've tried to come up with the solution, but let me just ask you. So I'm in a friend's car, right?
Right.
Registered to her. I don't have a driver's license. It's registered to her, the whole 9 yards, everything. So she gets a ticket in the mail in her name, obviously, because it was her car, for me running a stop sign on a school bus. It's a $300 ticket, and I told her, hey, call them and tell them it was me. And they said, that doesn't matter, only if she was selling the car would that make a difference. And it was at one school bus, it was actually 2 school buses, so it's a $600 ticket. So I went on to the video, and what a racket. I mean, I was expecting to see, the car drive by. There were 4 cars drive by, and just in the video that I saw. So that right there, they were $24 me. So,
okay, here it is, Tony, because I haven't got a lot of time here. I'll cover this more tonight, but here's a simple answer.
Sure.
That was her wake-up call for the universe, not yours.
Right, and and she's willing to pay it before waking up, I think.
Well, then again, stay your course. It's not your concern. Let go of the emotions attached to it. Simple, easy peasy.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll talk about it in more detail tonight. Again, we got like a minute and a half, 2 minutes here before we got to roll out. So
I'll call back tonight. Thank you much, Kate.
All right, Tony. Let's talk about this one tonight. That's a good one.
Okay, speak to you soon.
Speak soon. Alvita. Bye-bye.
Yes, hi.
And Mags, jump in quick because we're going to roll out any minute here.
Hi,
hey, there
Alvita.
you guys are.
Hi. Yes, well, I'm just going to say the meek shall inherit the earth, and that would be the children. That's my thought on it. This summer.
Theirs.
Yes.
I second that emotion. Cool.
And just to make clear on emotion, no mote shunning. That means it went up full force and effect, and I will stand in that emotion as well. I love it.
All right.
Here, ladies. Love you all.
All right.
Playtime.
Playtime indeed. Stay the course. And don't forget, everything we do here at criticalmassradio.co.uk is completely accessible for free to everyone. If you want to donate, great. And if you don't, great. It's all good. Everything at kateofgaia.wordpress.com. All the writings there, music, everything I've ever done is available to all. It's because I'm the co-creation of all my experiences, so I can't claim it. I just get to be a conduit and experience it. It's beautiful. It's all there, and it is my wish that you wake your benevolent self up and step back into your true power instead of being a fed-upon soul slave, dark principality, soulless entity that you are keeping alive in your ignorance of the truth of who you are. That's my wish. And it's coming true. It's Christmas every single day.
Just every day. That's right.
All right, guys. Well, much love. I got to roll out of here. Ben's coming up. Stay tuned. And we'll catch you guys at the table a bit later on tonight. And, just a little over 4 hours. So much love. And I'll see you, ladies and everybody and gentlemen, at the table. Much love. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Time.
Or a shill. So that's just a general reminder to all those trying to flog remedy and line their own greasy little pockets staying in the Whore of Babylon system. Not something I would do. And, of course, I will not be gentle about it because I'll just state, a spade as being a spade. So, anyway, 734.
Yes.
Are you?
Jason or Billy Blowjob, whatever you want to call me.
How are you?
But I really resonated the other day. I forget her name. Well, not like that matters, but all us, So, but she mentioned something that she doesn't. People in her physical reality she don't relate to, and she can't even have a conversation with these people. And I fully feel that way too. Like she said, she likes to try to get to the table whenever she can because that's like the place where she feels like most comfortable when she. And I'm dealing with this stuff the third time I stepped into the show to say hi, and I'm a laid back, balanced person for the most part. But then when I get on the show, I actually get to talk to like-minded people. I get all excited. So it's one of the things I'm working on trying. Yeah.
Jason, don't want to jump in here. You've got a bit of an issue with your phone. It's kind of phasing in and out. So I'm not sure if it's if you're on a wireless phone, but it's been phasing in and out. So we are hearing you, but it's loud and very quiet and loud, very quiet. So just letting you know.
Is it better now? That's now?
Better. Much better.
Okay.
And it's BTR listener 028 for everybody. Carry on, Jason.
No, I was just saying that that the table, I respect it too. It is a place where I can relate, and I can't relate outside of it in my physical reality. And so that's one of the things I'm working on is trying to be more calm and balanced, like I normally am, but while I'm on the phone with everybody at the table. But I wanted to say a few other things. I might say it later and call in later. But the main thing I wanted to say, I don't know if you guys are already aware of this movie. If not, this is like a critical movie that I know you would put it at like one of the top of your list, like freaking awesome, like totally relates to the table. There's so many things from beginning to end. And you even got to watch the first couple credits and just see that. I mean, this movie is amazing. But so anyway, it's called Don Quixote, and I can assure you that's not his name in the beginning of the movie.
Okay, yeah. When did that one? It sounds vaguely familiar. When did that one come out?
Oh, I want to say the year on it was 2014. I think it came out sometime this year. But one of the guys that made the movie, he's actually the main actor in the movie, and it was the whole play on. I don't want to give it away because it's so awesome. Like, you guys will love it.
Oh, yeah. See, that's something else I'm seeing a lot of as well, because people are coming back after watching movies and they're seeing things in the anagogic. And if you're really paying attention, there's a new series out, I think, called Something of Thrones or whatever. Anyway, if you know what's going on in the anagogic reality, looking at it, you see what's actually happening in the literal world. It's amazing. Right. So
this movie,
seeing as this is the prime time in the UK, to get people up to speed a little bit on what's been going on in the UK with regards to white tiger, little white tiger. Gemini tiger. That's where she's referred to as white. She's not quite 8 years old, soon to be. Gemini, soon to be 8, and quite a story evolving around her and her father Wayne, and Wayne's ex, White's mother, and the whole community there as well. As a quick shout out to people that are not typically familiar with the Tuesday it's afternoon here for me, 1 p.m. For the Tuesday afternoon show. You can call in here at area code 347-326-9530. Again, that's 347-326-9530. And, of course, if you're listening on the Blog Talk page, you can click the Skype button to get in. And I'm just going to check the room to see if anyone's posted the BTR listener number for today. Somebody generally does. I don't know what it is because I have to call in through the host button, Skype button. So it's BTR host 1, right? So, but you can't use that one. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure what the BTR listener is. If someone could post that in one of the Skype rooms, that would be greatly appreciated. We like taking the shortcut with the BTR listener number because all you have to do is in your Skype search, contact search, just type in BTR listener 0 blank blank, whatever the number is, and when you hit search for that, it shows you in your contacts, add to contact. All you have to do at that point is right-click it and hit call, and that brings you directly to the board so that you can pop in and ask questions. And that being said, all you need to do once you're at the board is hit on the keypad of your phone or open up the dial pad on Skype and hit 1 there. and that lets me know that you want to get involved in the fray. Area code 734 has already got their hand up. So let's get this wide open today, guys, because I'm in the mood just to have a nice, big, fat table talk. Area code 734, and I think someone's posted the number. Just one sec, and let me see what we got. Yes, absolutely, Paul. Thank you for the reminder. Each week, people listening through the site. Of course, you can listen direct on criticalmassradio.co.uk 24/7 all week. And I'd like to remind people that everything that I do and everything that is on the criticalmassradio.co.uk website is free for all. If you have a desire to donate, whatever, that is your call. But for me, the prime directive is to make sure that truth, and if it truly is true, it should be free to all. Anyone selling truth or remedies or anything like that is nothing but no better than a lawyer.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night, whatever the case may be, wherever you are in the continuous moment of now. Welcome to Outside the Box here on criticalmassradio.co.uk. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. I got to tell you guys, it's wow, things are powering up everywhere. Coming soon to a UK near you, the complete collapse of the schooling system as a result of what's been going on, and a worldwide awakening of the children as a result, I assure you. Yeah, it just gets better from here, guys, and it just keeps getting better all the time. And of course, I have been talking with others, about getting other people's goats. I talked about this a while back. And what I mean by that is, can I get your attention? And if I can get your attention, and I don't care whether you're loving what I'm doing or hating what I'm doing, loving me, hating me, saying great things, dissing me or what, I don't give a shit. As long as I got your attention, I got your attention. And the only thing I care about is getting the truth into your heads and hearts, where you're being enslaved spiritually. And it's my benevolent and only intent to get you to see that, to set yourself free. And that's it. Hate me or love me for it. Personally, couldn't give a shit. I don't deal anything in a personal level any longer. I deal it in an unconditional, loving manner where, oh, you want to stick your head in the oven and fire it up? Well, that's something I would do, but all right. If that's the experience you wish to have, then go for it. Also a very non-gentle reminder of the golden rule and the power and impact that it has now. It's much greater than it's been for a very long time. That which you wish upon another, you have wished upon yourself. So I would always be careful and mindful about what we are wishing, especially those that are still stuck in the vengeance-seeking mode. And typically you'll find those in the free men of the land, sovereign citizen, patriot movements and stuff like that. People looking for the gimmies, and as I did last night, I called out a lot of different people regarding my observations of, what they're doing and their intent. And again, this is nothing personal, and of course, only egos will take stuff personal, and that's all right. I'm used to the program. It's just a TV, and I don't care if the TV set yells at me. It's just a movie anyway. Water off a duck's back, or in this case, water off a swan's back. So it's all good. Really doesn't matter to me. So where did I want to go today? Well, I think we'll open up a little in front, and I say confronted her teacher on not on a level. She says, why? She asked a simple question: Why should we have to come to school when I can Google anything if there's anything I want to learn? And of course, anyone that has their job completely discombobulated by a child typically goes into an adult childish ego rant. But anyway, she challenged the teacher and I guess the headmistress. Dad had went in to have a chat with them as well, that she could teach her class. And she was told, well, okay, you can teach the class next week. And of course, White, being undaunted, said no problem. And she started about getting together stuff to teach the children. And lo and behold, because this didn't faze White, the adults, the big grown babies that sit crying with their thumbs in the cereal aisle because they don't get the cereal they want, their only answer to that was to expel this not quite 8-year-old for 2 weeks. That's the power of a child. Scared the living crap out of the system and the supposed authority. And it gets better from here, boys and girls. This is quite the story. Anyway, so a week later, White had to go to a birthday party, and she was with her dad, and her mom was coming over to pick her up. Wayne and his White's mom and dad are obviously separated. Anyway, so White's mom came over to pick White up to take her to the birthday party. Was running a bit late, and lo and behold, ends up getting pulled over by a police officer for speeding. This story just gets better. It's so exciting. I just have such a hard time not wanting to go. There it is. Anyway, here we'll go on here. So what happened was when this police officer came out of the window, obviously asked for some identification. White, knowing full well who she is, she just leaned over and looked at the cop square in the eyes and said, "No names here, mate." And of course, the officer said, "Excuse me?" And being of Phoenician knowledge, she said, "Yes, you're excused. No names here, mate." And at that point, the police officer closed his book, turned and walked away. And of course, White's mom could not believe this, and ended up calling Wayne, likely a little bit excited, not in the positive way, as, you know, what's going on here and what are you teaching this child and whatever. And had asked Wayne to come over and have a chat, and they did. And Wayne and his ex had a wonderful chat. She got back to him the next day that she'd been up all night reading on my WordPress site, creativegaia.wordpress.com, and basically called Wayne in tears because she had the understanding of what's really going on here. And I really want to get this codified so I can just read it out in an essay form kind of thing for everybody. But basically what she had said was, you know, she understands the ramifications of a system and how the children are all being harmed, and she basically
perfect though, because this movie is perfect for one, like a beginner person at the table too, because it's actually a story about a guy going through his awakening, and it's freaking awesome.
Perfect. You see, then there's another prime example of the consciousness awakening, because a lot more of these things are coming out. And of course, everything is perfect. When you get the notion that you know all things, it's just a level of awareness that we're working at here. Things make a whole lot more sense,
sure.
and you start accepting things.
I keep forgetting about the time delay, man. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it's still a bit garbly on your phone, but it's way better than it was when you first started.
One thing I will say about the movie, there's a point in the movie where the guy is like, he's pretty much lost, and he's at this train station, and it's actually a museum, and he thinks the train is real, and he's like, "Give me a ticket." And I think it's Captain Kangaroo at the booth. And he's like, "Well, this is a fake train." He's like, "You can either wait 2 days and get a bus back to New York, you know, back to your whatever life, or you can go over that mountain to Phoenicia."
Nice. Oh yeah,
no, you guys got to see that. That movie is awesome. You guys got to see that movie. And one for the kids, if you want to do allegories with the kids, because I do it with my kids all the time. But if you've seen the new Lego movie, that's another good one.
Right on. You see, and that's the thing too. Thank you for the reminder there. We also have quite a team of people that have set up Kate's Kids Cove. There's an online forum for people to go to. There's Kate's Kids Cove on Facebook. And by the way, just
that
so
thing
people
is awesome.
know, oh, it's great. And we've got.
I read it out to my kids, and they were so perceptive. I read it out to them, and just like, it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it is. And this is the thing. We have to empower the children again. And that's exactly what's been going on surrounding Wayne and his daughter, White. I did a quick synopsis on the show last night with basically the rundown of what's been going on. And I've talked about it a bit here as it's been playing out. Here's a quick synopsis of the overall of what's been going on to show the effect that one child has on a planet. And this is a power we all have. More importantly, the children in their purest form carry far more energy and power than anyone that is like, well, I'm adult, almost 50 years old, right? So I know where the power lies, and it's in the innocence of a child, because they don't know doubt. Doubt gets introduced throughout their lives. And when someone is actually instilling the power of truth within a child, to remove that doubt and to allow them to be, just simply be, and be the spirit and grow the way they need to. That's where where a child really shines, and this society and culture is all about taking that child and shaping it basically a beautiful natural tree into a 2x4 to be part of a box construction. But what happened originally with White was she had